Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. I certainly am. Okay, I want to say hello to a few folks as you get your notifications here. Brahim, good morning. Portland, Oregon. How are you? You have your coffee yet, Brahim? Andrea, Niagara Falls. Lori Lee, Ventura, California. Good morning. We seem to be out west. Carrie, Nebraska. Karen, Kincardine. Mary from Norwich. Serpa, good morning. All the way out in Dowling. Chantal, Hamner. Donna. And Kevin from sunny Oshawa. Andrea, Nouveau-Brunswick, and Georgie, Halifax. Now we're going east. Wendy, Markham, and Christina, North York. Good morning. Nick from our staff, and John, Elgin, Illinois. Wanda, Ridgeway. Yolande, bonjour. And Keith, good morning. David, Ridgeway. Jerry, Nouveau-Brunswick. Roma, good morning. And Jean, nice to have you on. Victoria, good morning. Lucy, North Bay. Bonjour. Marnie, good morning. Our dear friends. And Luella, West Tennessee. Diane, Thunder Bay. Francis, good morning. Nativity. And Sue, Manitoulin Island. Helga, good morning. Aurora, Robin, Connecticut. And Kingston. And Bonnie, good morning. And Lori and Ryan, how are you? Andrea, Samora, in Mexico. Doug from St. Thomas. And, wow, Brahim saying it's 105, or going to be 105. Rita, Carol, and Rosalinda. I know the scroll is moving too fast. Marlene, Linda, oh, Chino, California. Maureen, good morning. Florida, Lori from Cambridge. And Lise, good morning. Couple more. Darlene, how is you? Donna. And Andrea. Good morning, everyone. Sandy, good morning. Okay. Hey, I want to talk to you about sun, steak, and steel. Well, the sun. Okay? Now, we're gonna focus on two organs this morning. And Viderma, the sun, vitamin D, okay? And one of them is called your thymus gland, okay? Now, little quiz, okay, Where's your thymus gland? Okay, and let me see, I'll get some answers here. Hi, Wanda from Virginia. Good morning, Muriel. And Gloria, good morning. Guys, someone give me, where is that thymus gland? Bruno, I know you guys are smart, so every once in a while, you know, it used to scare me if the teacher came in and said, close your books. Yeah, Sue, in your chest, okay? And Barbara says brain, well, not far, down there. No, the thymus, you guys are thinking of the pineal gland, your third eye, okay? Your pineal gland is in the brain, but your thymus, okay, right in your chest wall, right around your breastbone, just in behind that. Okay? Now, there's a new study out that is showing the significance of your thymus gland. Okay? And look, And the reason they talked about it is because they wanted to know, you know, they wanted to know if God made a mistake. That's not really what they wanted to know, but it's the way I look at things. Because it's like your appendix, guys, okay? Or your tonsils. Years ago, at the first sign of infection of your tonsils, bye-bye, they were taken out, okay? I think I've told you this before, but my dad wouldn't let me get my tonsils out. I wanted to get my tonsils out. Who wants to be different at school? Right? There's a lot of peer pressure. I was under peer pressure. Everybody went to the hospital in my class, it seems. And they got ice cream. I said to my dad, I want ice cream. He said, you need your tonsils. Not going to get rid of your tonsils. They're the gateway. They're the barriers to your trachea and your esophagus. Okay? Those two tonsils are gatekeepers. They're going to stop bacteria from going down there and viruses. Okay. So you just don't want to take them out. And today, right? I mean, not that you would never get tonsils taken out today, but it's very rare. In the 1950s, I can tell you that was like as sure, you know, as the day is long, you got, you know, a lot of people lost their tonsils. And the other one is appendix, because they always said, this is the truth, okay? This is what they call evolutionary biology, okay? And it permeates every school, every higher education, especially when it first started. So evolutionary biology taught that you didn't need your tonsils. They were part of evolution. And, you know, another gazillion years, they wouldn't even be in the back of your throat. And the same thing with your appendix. And now, of course, they found out, yeah, no, you need your appendix. I mean, you can live without them, and you can live without your tonsils. But generally, you're going to do a lot better because they're a very important part of your immune system. Your appendix is an important part of your gut, and your tonsils are a very important part of your immune system. Okay? Now, the thymus gland, okay? So, point sort of at the middle of your chest wall, hit your breastbone, okay? Hit your breastbone, and you hit your thymus is underneath that. And this study was looking at people that had their thymus gland removed. How do you get that removed? Well, usually with, you know, chest wall, open heart surgery or whatever. The doctor just took it out, get it out of the way. You don't need it, whatever. And then they found out this, that people that had their thymus gland removed in surgery, they were much more susceptible. Okay, let me read the, they were much more susceptible after to cancer and autoimmune, according to the study. And here's the headline of the study, at least where I wrote it, where I read it. It said, unexpected, okay? Unexpected importance of the thymus gland, okay? Thymus, thymus. Why didn't they call me? I could have told them. The thymus gland is a very important part of your immune system. We don't think about it. We don't think about it, but it's really important. It's where your T cells, you know, your Navy SEALs of your immune system? Well, the thymus gland helps to produce them. You think they're important? Those Navy SEALs? You know, I get so frustrated at times when I think of the way we operate in this world that you and I live in. You know, a virus comes around and we go crazy. Shut the world down. Wear a mask. Social distance, yada, yada, yada. But nobody talks, or nobody talked in mainstream media or in medicine, mainstream. Nobody was talking about the immune system. Okay? The immune system. Everybody talked about the virus, but nobody talked about protecting one from the virus. You have an immune system. What would have been the best way to take care of it? Okay? The unexpected importance of the thymus gland. Hello? If the thymus gland produces T cells, I think it's important, don't you? And vitamin D and the thymus gland. Now, I am going to give you my theory, okay? This is the Martin Clinic theory on the thymus gland. Okay? It works. And it produces T cells. T cells are your Navy SEALs of your immune system. Do you think you need them? They're the first responders. Do you need them? Absolutely. They see a virus or a bacteria, they're out first. They protect your body, okay? Now, one of the ways your thymus gland works, and it won't work properly if you don't have enough vitamin D. 80% of the population have low levels of vitamin D. And therefore, their thymus gland, it'll work, but it won't work at its highest level. Now, I'm going to give you a little trick at the Martin Clinic, okay? I'm going to give you a little trick to stimulate your your thymus and your thyroid. I'm going to talk to you about the thyroid in a minute, okay? Now, here's a little trick. When you go out in the sun, what do I tell you? Even if it's in the middle of winter, you get benefits from the sun. Why is that? Because of your pineal gland, the third eye, right? When your eyeballs see the sun, your body is developing. It's not like you're getting a lot of vitamin D. You're not. But you're getting melatonin. Is that important? You bet your boots it's important. Okay? That's why the sun is so good for you. Don't wear sunglasses. Okay? I'm not saying never. I'm just telling you, you need about 15, 20 minutes of the sun. Now, some people are so hypersensitive, okay? Guys, there's always exceptions, okay? So I'm not talking to you as an exception. You know what I like to call you? You're weird. And I mean that in a very loving way. You're weird. Doc, I can't go out and I gotta wear my sunglasses because okay, you're weird. The rest of us don't go looking directly at the sun, but the sunlight is good for you, okay? Now, this is a trick, and I believe it to be very important. Expose your thyroid, here I go again. Expose the thymus gland to the sun. That's why I really do like sunbathing, okay? 20 minutes, 10,000 IUs. When someone tells you 10,000 IUs, holy moly, you're going to croak. You're going to die on the spot. No, 20 minutes in the sun without sunscreen, and you get 10,000 IUs, okay? Especially if your arms and legs are exposed. Your solar panels are exposed to the sun. 10,000 IUs in 20 minutes. Doesn't take long. You don't need to burn in the sun. Okay? Now, I'm pointing here to my thymus gland. You see me? Okay? For those on later, go down about 3 or 4 inches from your collarbone here. Okay? And go down in the sternum. Okay, your breastbone, and just go down about 3 or 4 inches. You don't have to go very far down. And there's your thymus gland. Expose it to the sun. Expose it to the sun. I believe that. Let the sun hit that thymus gland. Because remember with your T cells, okay? Remember this with your T cells. I've taught you this in the past. Your T cells have receptors. Your whole body's a solar panel. Your brain to your toes. But your T cells, your Navy SEALs, they have antennas. And they're looking for vitamin D. And I'm giving you a little trick that you won't hear anywhere else. At least I've never heard anybody say it. But I have believed this for a long time. That if you get a chance, if the sun is out today, okay, arms, legs, exposed, okay? Those are your big solar panels. But try and expose, at least for about 20 minutes if you can, the upper part of your chest. And think when you're doing it, you're going, those T cells are getting their batteries charged. Where would I bring a cancer patient? To the hospital? Nope. Out in the sun. Where would I bring someone that's got a virus? Out in the sun. Where would I bring every senior that's deficient in vitamin D? They're deficient almost invariably. When it gets, 60 and up, seniors are 95% deficient in vitamin. Oh, my doctor didn't tell me that. Your doctor didn't even look. Oh, my vitamin D was normal. Yeah, for a mouse. For a mouse. Most people, when they have their vitamin D tested, it's shockingly low. If you're a vegetarian, you got low vitamin D. Guaranteed. Unless you get in the sun a lot. because you're certainly not eating any foods with vitamin D. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin only found in eggs, meat, and cheese. Why do you think I like eggs, meat, and cheese? I had bacon and eggs this morning for breakfast. You? There's vitamin D in there, in them there hills of eggs, meat, and cheese. But expose, guys, okay? Expose your thymus gland to the sun. And, you know, September's coming, isn't it? That means you got to get your vitamin D out as a supplement. I'm sorry. You know, and the people living in Florida, my dear friends in Florida, they don't go out in the sun. They're scared skinny of it. You talk to senior citizens in Florida, I mean Floridians, and they got the wrong memo. They're scared skinny of the sun. Oh, Dr. I'm going to get skin cancer. No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Melanoma is a lack of vitamin D. It's a lack of the sun cancer. I know. You don't hear that almost anywhere else, but that's a fact. But facts don't matter, ma'am. It's the narrative. And the sun is the boogeyman. But get that sun rays. You don't have to burn, guys. Don't burn. I don't believe in burning. Cover up. And wear a hat. And don't put on sunscreen. Whatever you do. If you're gonna put on sunscreen, you know how to put on a good sunscreen? Start inside out. Yeah. When you lay off sugars and crappy carbs, you'll be surprised how much better your skin is. It'll become a much better solar panel. Start inside. Skin is an organ, my friend. You always start inside out with an organ. It's an organ you can see, but nonetheless, it's an organ. You know another thing that's really important for vitamin D is bacteria. Yeah. You got gazillions of bacteria on your skin. You don't even think about it. A couple of things. Don't clean that bacteria off so often. Okay? They're on your side. Unless you got eczema or psoriasis or whatever. But I'll tell you, even in those conditions, here's what I found in my office. Those people were extremely low in vitamin D. Your skin needs the sun. Needs the sun. And you know, I know dermatologists have made a living telling you to get out of the sun. But when you study vitamin D and you see the importance of it from your head to your toes, expose your thymus gland to the sun. Okay? Expose it to the sun. Those rays of the sun will stimulate the thymus gland and help your immune system. I don't think that's ever going to get to an oncologist. But if I could get to them, I would say, why don't you do a study and see what happens? You know, what did they do during the Spanish flu? People were dying like Bugs. And they put them out in the sun. And it was amazing what that did. They exposed them. Tuberculosis and others. Okay? Now, let me talk about the thyroid, because now I'm going to go a little bit higher. I'm going to talk about, see that? Your thyroid, that little butterfly organ right here that can give us so much trouble. Well, here's a study. This was done in 2021, and it was a meta-analysis of 35 studies. They looked at 35 studies in 2021, and they looked at the importance of vitamin D and the thyroid gland. Here's what they concluded looking at 35 studies from the year 1980 to 2018. Now, guys, there's a lot more studies than you think on vitamin D. Okay? There really are. And the problem is that they don't get a lot of ink because there's no money in vitamin D. You know, the pharmaceutical companies, there's a war on vitamin D. There's no money in it. You can't patent it. If you can't patent it, okay? Now, low vitamin D. Here's what they concluded. Meta-analysis, 35 studies between 1980 and 2018. Here's what they found. In hypothyroid, Hashimoto's, Graves, okay, Hashimoto's and Graves are autoimmune disorders. One high, the other low. Hypothyroid is something I talk about. Well, if you send me your blood work, okay, I don't like to make a diagnosis, okay, because you're not my patient. I'm just going to give you my 2 pennies worth of my experience looking at blood work. And I look at things differently from what I call functional medicine. Okay? Holistic, looking at everything. And in my book, Sun, Steak, and Steel, you know what 8 critical tests I can tell you if you're in that 93% that has metabolic syndrome. If you're on the Titanic, okay, pretty well tell you. And you better change course if you're in that 93% and you want to get out of that. But one of the things that's really important is your thyroid. Now, the thyroid doesn't act independently. We know that. There's a lot of strings attached to the thyroid, but nonetheless, your thyroid, here's what they concluded. When your thyroid's not working properly, almost invariably, you have low levels of vitamin D. Aha! So, what am I saying? You got a solar panel there too. Just like you do with your thymus gland. You have receptors looking for vitamin D on your thyroid. Why do we see so much thyroid problems today? Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. We call it a metabolic storm. And the thyroid gets affected big time. But the thyroid is, one of the strings attached is leaky gut, leaky thyroid. Because T4 to T3, about 20% of that conversion. And listen, in order for your thyroid to work properly, it needs T3. Okay? T3. You only make about a teaspoon of it a year. A teensy-weensy bit can throw off that thyroid. Your liver huge component of thyroid production of T3, the conversion T4, T3. Liver, very important place. What happens in the liver doesn't stay in the liver. It's not Las Vegas. And if your liver is gummed up with fat, because we're carboholics, not because you're eating bacon, because you're eating bread and noodles. I read an article this morning. It gave me a migraine on the importance of eating fiber. You better get your wheat. Oh, Dr. Martin, I only have whole wheat toast. Yeah. I know, but it's going to be sugar. Then it gets turned to fat in your liver. It gums up your liver. And if you gum up your liver, your thyroid's not going to work properly. Why do you think so many people benefit when they get on the eggs, meat, and cheese reset, that their thyroid? Hey, doc, my thyroid's working better. Yeah. Yeah, because the thyroid is waiting for the production of T3. And your liver has a big effect on that. The sun has a big effect on your thyroid. And if you can't get the sun on your thyroid, well, then you better take a supplement of vitamin D. Very important for the thyroid to function properly. This meta-analysis, looking at studies, concluded that people that had a sluggish thyroid had low levels of vitamin D. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, I think it's a low vitamin D that starts. Low vitamin D. People just don't realize the importance. Everybody and their dog should be tested for their vitamin D levels. Everybody and their dog. They won't do it. Most doctors don't know the significance of it. You don't need your vitamin D tested. You don't have osteoporosis. Because all they can think of is bones. And they don't read. They don't read. It bothers me. If there's a vitamin, why do you think when I wrote the book Sun, I put it first? Sun, steak, and steel. Why sun at the top? It's so important. And trust me when I tell you. Trust me. Not a person in North America here's the latest statistics. I gave them to you the other day. Not one person. I told you this the other day, didn't I? I think one or two people, probably about 10 a year, die from drinking too much water. Okay? Now, 99.9% of the population, they don't even drink enough water. But there's about 10 a year. They drink too much water and they croak. They die. Does that mean we don't drink water? Of course not. Right? And they're usually marathon runners or whatever, and they're just, they drink too much water, they're losing too much salt, and, they create a perfect storm, and it can kill you. Guys, you can read about it, but it's rare. I mean, it's extremely rare. But I'm going to tell you what happened in the latest year of statistics in 2021. Not one person died of taking too much vitamin D. Not one. You'd think there'd be one, but there wasn't one. Now, am I telling you to take too much vitamin D? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you, though, when they want to outlaw it, ooh, man, our world's upside down. Sometimes it shakes my head. No, I shake my head. Ooh, is it just me? Or is the world crazy out there? Oh, I'm telling you. Okay, I better breathe. Okay, so where do you get some sun? If you get the sun today, okay, even you Floridians who are scared skinny, get in that sun. You get it for 300 and something days a year. I used to tell my Floridian friends, you don't get heaven. Us Canadians, we get heaven when we die. Because you had heaven all your life in Florida and you didn't realize it. Or Arizona. You don't get heaven. You got heaven. We get heaven. Okay, guys, we got a great week coming. Okay? We got a great week coming. Don't be shy. Ask your questions, because Friday's question and answer Friday. Okay? Don't we have the best staff in the world? We do. We do. They're there for you, answering your question. You want me to look at your blood work? Get your blood work done. Try and get vitamin D done. Try and get B12. If you have to twist the arm of your physician, well, twist their arm. Okay? And if you have to pay for a vitamin D test, pay for it. I hate to have to tell you that, but it's a good investment because you're surprised what your numbers are for a lot of people. Not you guys so much, because you guys are smarter than the average bear. My audience. Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.